Hey everybody, welcome to the MVN 4.4 release webinar. We're very excited about some of these features we're going to demonstrate to you. My name is Chris Adamson and I'm here with my colleague Risto.
Hey everyone.
So yeah, we had two major releases, but first we're going to go into a little brief introduction of what this webinar is and who Xsens is. So Xsens, we're a motion tracking company. In this segment, we're going to be focusing on the body motion tracking systems. We actually started our company in 2000, and since then we have had our third iterations of the hardware, a lot of software development, and we are now celebrating this 4.4 release. A little side note on that, every 6 months we have a minor and major release, so this would be considered one of those major releases. Some of the updates we had are on-body recording, handling large files. You can see a few of the points here, but in this webinar, we are going to focus strictly on the on-body recording and the reference camera, as these are some of the very major points and major milestones that we have reached. If you're just joining us, please make sure that your microphone is muted. And we will be saving all the questions till the end of this presentation. We'll open up the chat feature and you guys can go ahead and ask us any questions that you might feel like you want to ask us. All right, so getting into it, we're going to first show the reference camera. I'm actually in the motion capture suit here, but briefly what the reference camera is it's a remote control device that you can run on your iOS or Android phones. It will actually enable the camera built into those phones, and you could stop and play recordings, edit session names, and shoot reference video with your camera of your phone. If you just joined us, it'd be great if you put your speaker on mute. Okay, so let's get into how this reference camera and remote control app functions. So first, you want to have your MVN Studio session open. Uh-oh. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is actually apply the body dimensions of our talent. I'm actually in the suit here, so I'm going to get calibrated. Aristo's going to run that. You can see our calibration process. All I do is come over here, stand in a neutral pose.
And then what I'll go ahead and do is hit calibrate on the screen while he's in that neutral pose. Okay, great. Now Chris is all calibrated.
All right, now how to set up the Android and iPhone app. What you're going to want to do is the link system is on a shared network. So you're going to have a wireless network that your computer is hooked up to. So right now I'm hooked up to Xsens Tech Local. Now if I open up the network and internet settings, if I click on the connection of my wireless network, I can find the IPv4 address, which is 192.168.1.70. Now Aristo is actually going to show his phone. Let's open up this phone app.
And now what this is doing is it's actually mirroring my screen on my iOS device. And so what I can go in here and do is open up the MVN remote app. And from here, I can click in the upper left-hand corner and hit connection. And what I can do is I see that I've already entered in the address of the IP address that Chris just showed. So if we go back, 192.168.1.70, and you can see that I've already entered that in on the mobile app.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I press connect, and then if I go back here and go over into recording controls, I can see that Chris His avatar is already sitting down, so he's sitting at the computer next to me. But I can also see the reference camera as well.
Hey everybody. So how you set that up into MVN Studio is I'd come back into MVN Studio, I want to go to the configure session window, and then to make sure that I'm getting that video reference also into my record, I want to turn on the video camera, and then you can actually see the reference camera from the iOS device being implemented into our records of MVN Studio. So if I just simply press OK, now I can see my movement, and also I can see the camera's movement. Pretty awesome.
A couple other things you can do in the iOS app, and if you want to go ahead and pull back up the screen there, I can also record and stop recording of the session. I can name the session name as well, so you can see, I can call this Chris Recording 1. And now that'll actually label it Chris Recording 1, so now I can hit the record button. And so if you see I hit the record button, now it's actually recording in MVN Studio. And now I can stop that from the remote app as well. And you can see that Chris is not pressing anything there. And now that's all stopped.
Yep. So that is the new remote control app. We're very excited about it. Yep. And then so from here, we want to show you the other great feature that we made, which is on-body recording. This allows you to have the ability with the MVN link system to not have to use a laptop or computer to utilize your recordings at all. So what you can do is actually, in the picture you see here, go motocross racing, or you can go skydiving, you can go snowboarding, you can utilize any of these kind of sports, athletics, and get the raw motion capture data of truly actually doing the event that you're doing. And all other recordings themselves will actually go on to the suit itself, onto its body pack. And Arissa is going to walk you through this step now.
So what do I have to do to actually make sure that everything is running properly? The first thing that I want to do is go ahead and make sure that the body pack is connected via USB. And so once that's plugged in, we can go ahead and turn that on. And we'll give it a couple seconds to boot up. That beep has just signified that the body pack is now connected and is powered on. So what I'll go ahead and do now is, let me go ahead and relaunch MVN Studio. And what I'll want to make sure is that the body pack is enabled for on-body recording mode. So what I'll go into do here is go to Options, On-Body Recording, and check to make sure that my system is in OBR mode. And now you can see here that it is toggled on here, and the system status is in OBR mode. Now if I want to take this off or out of on-body recording mode, I simply click this toggle button up here and turn that off. And now it's in live mode, so I can connect it to my router and view that real time. And in order to turn it back on into OBR mode, I can simply just press that toggle button. Now what I want to do after I've enabled it is go ahead and connect the body pack. So all I simply have to do here is go ahead and connect the power as well as the other two LEMO connectors for the upper and lower body. And I'm doing this all while it's connected to MVN Studio. So now I can simply unplug the USB connection. go ahead and zip him right back up. And now, to enable on-body recording, all I have to do is just press the glowing LED right here. Okay. When I do that, I want to make sure that my subject is standing in an end pose for about 5 seconds for that calibration procedure to take place. After that, I can go ahead and begin my recording. So Chris, let's have you step back a little bit and have you stand in an end pose. And what I'll go ahead and do is press this button. If you could flip around just so we can see that LED. So he's standing in an end pose, and all I have to do is just press this record button. And now you can see that rapid flash. That means it's recording. And he'll stand in that end pose for about 5 seconds. And so now it's been about 5 seconds. You can go ahead and move around a little bit. Okay, great. And to simply stop recording, all I have to do is press the LED button again. Great. Now that it's stopped, I don't have to turn it off. I can go ahead, go up to my PC here, and plug it in directly into USB. And now I just simply open up MVN Studio again. And go into on-body recording. And now I can see that second recording there. So now I can go ahead and import that particular file that I've recorded. All I have to do is make sure that it contains end pose, what scenario I want to use, and use the end pose from this particular MTB file. So now I can go ahead and import that. And MVN Studio will download and process all that data. And now I can play my file back.
Did an extra long neutral pose on this one.
So you can see that all of that was done without actually being connected to the Wi-Fi router. So if you have something that will go out of range of the Wi-Fi router, say for example you're hiking, or you're doing motocross analysis, or you're doing some type of running analysis, and you don't want to follow the subject with the Wi-Fi router and the PC behind them, you can certainly use this OBR mode. Okay, great. So that covers two of the major features that we had in this particular release. What I also wanted to cover as well is the base and tutorial videos, if you don't already know about it. Our tutorial videos show exactly what we demonstrated in our webinar just now. So how to set up the reference camera, how to turn on and off OBR, and things like that. So if you want to refer to our tutorial videos, you can definitely take a look at those. But we also have BASE as well. And BASE is an online knowledge forum and community forum as well. So users can go online there and collaborate and ask questions, request new features, and take a look at some of the articles that we have created that answer frequently asked questions. Okay.
Okay, from here we're going to actually open up the comment dialog, and you guys can ask your questions. We'll read the question and then give you an answer. We'll do this for about 5 minutes. After that, we're going to put up our email address, and if you guys need to email us additional questions, go ahead and feel free to do that. Okay, that's over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Yes, our system runs over Wi-Fi, which is either you can designate it to a 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi bandwidth. Since you had problems with recording in the beginning, how do you know if the calibration with the pack is valid before you start your action? I don't quite understand the question. If you had problems with recording in the beginning. I don't recall having any problems in the beginning of this webinar with recordings.
I think in the beginning, what Dano is referring to is we had problems just. Okay.
Oh yeah. So when you first initialize the system, so how the system works is there's the 17 trackers across the body. Each one of the trackers contains a magnetometer, a gyroscope, an accelerometer, which is tracking gravitational pull, magnetic north, and rotation. When the system first appears in MVN Studio, it doesn't know where magnetic north or gravitational pull is per se. So what we do is we do the calibration, and then it has all the trackers talk to MVN Studio and recognize where they're placed across the body and how they're configured on the body. Then you get your calibration. So the bent over model you see in the beginning is just to ensure that we're doing a calibration. Yeah, with the on-body recording, you want to do the neutral pose beforehand. You also want to make sure that you're doing proper neutral poses. Also, if you saw when Aristo was checking this take has a proper neutral pose, you can choose which take you're pulling a neutral pose from. So if you felt like you didn't do a proper neutral pose with the on-body recording, you can try to do it beforehand. But once you've used the system a few times, you really recognize what a proper neutral pose is. So before using the on-body recording mode, I would suggest that you do a traditional kind of MVN Studio recording session, figure out how your proper neutral pose and stance is, then use the on-body recording mode.
So we have a question from Gregory here. The memory size on the body pack. So that is a 16 gigabytes memory size on our body pack. And that allows for about 8 hours of recording storage.
Okay, we'll give this about 1 more minute of questions, and then we'll throw up our email addresses if you guys have any additional questions. What is the range of the Wi-Fi? The router that we provide with the MVN Link system has a range of 500 feet. That's on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi range. Of course, if you put it to 5 gigahertz, it's going to be more around 300 feet of a range. The range of the on-body recording is limitless, but because this system is Wi-Fi based, it can be hooked up to a wireless network. So really the range of the Wi-Fi of the suit itself is what network and what routers you are hooked up to. Yes, it's possible to use several suits in OBR. Have you tried two-person capture with recording text? Yeah, when we were doing the motorcycle shoot, we had 3 people doing OBR at a time because each system's working individually.
Okay, so we have another question here. You are using the Wi-Fi connection. You were saying you don't need any PC to record data, you just use the on-body option. Why do you still need the Wi-Fi? So we don't need the Wi-Fi at all. We just had it set up previously for our other demo for the iOS device. So really when we're using the on-body recording mode, you don't need a PC at all in the field except for after you've collected all the data and you want to view and visualize all that data, then you need the PC. But you don't need Wi-Fi for the on-body record mode.
Exactly. And how to calibrate the on-body record is doing that neutral pose after you first press the button to initialize the on-body record. So within the file that you're actually capturing, or the files you're actually capturing, when you export that data into MVN Studio to be processed, you choose which one of those files contains a neutral pose. So the calibration routine is recorded within the take. All right, I'm going to show my email addresses here. If you guys have any additional questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching the 4.4 release webinar.
Thanks, guys.
We hope you've enjoyed seeing us today.